Hello guys, this is Simon and my daughter. Say hi.
Hi.
We're doing a quick video to demonstrate the strength of these cable sleeve. They're 20 millimeter. I bought them two different color, the same company from eBay. The shrink wrap also came from the same company. They have glue pre-applied inside, so when you heat them up, the glue will melt in between the spaces, the cable sleeve, making it very hard. Grabs pretty hard. I have a demonstration picture of my daughter actually hanging off a ladder with the xt90 plug clamped into the door, and then all her weight, which is about 47 pounds of it, was on the cable sleeve plus the ladder. Yeah, she was pretty scared, but I just wanted to do a quick demonstration and show you guys how strong these cable sleeve are with the glue where it didn't come apart. But in another picture, you guys saw how short the wires were on those connectors. They're just spare wires I had laying around. I needed the wires on there to have something where the cable sleeve wouldn't just sink in when I heat up the shrink wrap over it. But this is to the gentleman who was posting a question about quick release cables. If he were to fall off his bike, how can he make a backpack with a cable disconnect that? It was really easy. And you know, Andersons are nice, but I think about the one thing about Anderson is they're pretty big and they look really bulky. I don't know if that's what you were going for, but I don't have any Andersons. I mean, I've used the little Andersons, and you know, people are saying, well, if you fall off an angle because of how the xt90 hugs the connectors, you can only break them freely if they were to perfectly pull apart. Well, to me, the little tiny the 45 amp pole Andersons, they were the same way too. They literally sat inside each other, so even if you pull them sideways, you can't pull them sideways. They had to come out perfectly parallel to the connectors. So the same thing with the TX90s. They had to come apart. But if you have them on a cable, so let's say the black end is attached to your bike and the red end is your backpack. So let's say you were to fall and you just pull it, see? It just comes right off. That's with no wires, and the cable sleeve was able to withstand the force of me pulling it apart with just shrink wrap. And this is not a TX90. I understand. I only have 4 TX90 because they're pretty pricey. I ordered 4 of them. They were like $20 for 4. So I don't have any more XT90S. I have a whole bunch of normal XT90, but they're pretty much the same. Now, if you're worried about this connector being, or not this one, the other end. If you're worried about this connector, this one I'm holding right here, which has the one that goes over the other connector. If you're worried about this being like holding too hard, what you can do is you can grab a razor and cut slits on two corners or in the middle on two sides, and that would help it break away easier. I don't see why people say this would hold tighter. You can even cut this in half with a Dremel. Cut this whole piece in half. And pretty much what you would have is you would have half a connector, and then half of it would be bulletproof. Now, of course, if you were to cut this in half, you didn't want this one coming out of your battery pack, because then it'll be exposed to bullet connectors exposed. So you would want this one to go over the one that goes inside to be on the battery pack, and this one to come out of your bike. But I don't see why this cannot be used, work for you. I just demonstrated that I was able to yank the cable with just the sleeve. There's no silicone wires in there, and I was able to come out pretty easily. Now, I know I don't have any TX90. I know they hold slightly harder, but I did the test on a luggage, and both of them came apart pretty much the same pound, which is not a lot of pound. I think my luggage weight thing barely registered more than a couple pounds when the connectors just popped out. So again, they're not hard, and if you have them on extra, I mean, unless they're like soldered right onto the circuit board itself, the connectors, I don't like, no matter which direction you fall, because the cables are flexible, they will you know, they will bend towards that direction, and then whatever is the object that would give your first would be the connectors. They would slide out first. You can always add some white lithium grease into the plastic to help it, you know, first it'll help it with waterproofing. Second, it will make it help, if you think it'll help it make it slide out easier. But I don't think you need any special connectors or anything like that, you know. But anyway, that's my video. I just wanted to show you guys, because I was getting a lot of people posting about, you know, oh, cable sleeves are weak. Oh, xt90s, you know, they can't be pulled apart unless they're perfectly straight. So I just wanted to demonstrate the video. I'll do it one more time. So I'm just plugging it in all the way in. So see, they're all the way in, and I'm going to pull it. I'm going to wrap it around to make the wires a little shorter. So I'm going to pull it. So let's say I'm riding it. Oh, yes. It's pretty rope. And then I just yank it. And as you can see, it just released it right away. So, all right. Hope this helped. Bye.